Been recording. All right. You ready to bring the juice?
There we go.
The juice.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It's Saturday, August 4th, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. This is a special weekend edition, and I'm going to warn you ahead of time, it's going to get weird. We have our normal format of the show. We're going to kind of let our hair down, if you will. Maybe a little casual. What did I say? Business casual? We're going to wear
Business casual Friday.
Some jeans. We're going to relax a little bit, but we're going to talk everything going on in the Chicago baseball scene. We have a packed show for you tonight. I am your host, Matt Zawoski. They call me Zoe. With me on the west side of things, west side of the country, is Aldo Soto. What's up, Aldo?
You already drunk, so?
Couldn't say coast, right?
Well, I said coast last time, and he got mad at me.
He didn't say coast this time because he knew he was going to be wrong.
Right.
West side.
So don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Like, are you drunk? And on the east side of things,
like, what is you saying?
Like a fancy bitch, we got Matt and Nuko. They call him Nuke. What's up, Nuke?
What's going on?
He's going to yell at me in a little bit. So we got
the yellow clouds.
Yes, we have a great show for you today, this weekend. Hopefully you're listening to us cutting your lawn or doing something fun this weekend. But we're going to talk about A-Rod versus the Cubs because that's all over the place. We're going to talk about how Javi is legit an MVP contender, and we've been saying this since May, so we're pretty
You
smart
heard it here
guys.
first.
Pretty smart.
Then we're going to talk about Rick Hahn being a no-limit soldier, and we're going to get into Eloy and where he's at. He's having another monster game as we record this. And then me and Nuke are basically going to yell at each other for about 10 minutes about Nick Madrigal. So it's a fantastic show. You're not going to want to miss it.
Can't wait.
Yeah, so with all that being said, it's Friday night, and apparently I've already done it. So let's tap this keg.
I thought you were going to go Montel Jordan.
This is how we do it. So starting on the north side, big news. Cubs played a game on ESPN, and we all had the pleasure, we'll go with that word, of listening to A-Rod and the ESPN crew.
Was it a pleasure, though?
Called the game. It is because
I enjoyed it.
Great content. And A-Rod basically just talked out of his ass about you, Darvish. I want
to get to Nuke's.
Nonsense.
I want to get to Nuke's thoughts because Nuke is has a personal thing with A-Rod.
I don't like him. He's terrible.
A lot of people don't, but go ahead.
In so many ways. Do you want me to go? Do it?
Yeah.
Are you?
Let it go, Nuke. Let it go.
Well, actually, hold on, Nuke.
Let me get loose. I'm gonna get loose here.
Yeah, before you start, go do some lunges. Although, as the resident Cub guy, please set the scene with what A-Rod alluded to, what he got into, how Theo struck back, how you struck back. Will you just set the scene for our listeners in case people weren't paying attention?
And then chug my rosé.
And then Uncle Nuke can pound his rosé and start yelling at clouds. So go ahead, Aldo.
So it was Sunday night game, Cubs-Cardinals. It was like the middle of the game. They pan over to you, Darvish. You can tell it's a prepared thing because, they're not just going to pan over randomly to the dugout. If not, there's not going to be some context to who they're showing. So A-Rod starts with this whole thing about how he says things are bad in the Cubs clubhouse. Then he goes on about you, Darvish, saying how he should be down in Arizona rehabbing because he's with the team right now. And guys get frustrated or something. It was like something about how the Cubs players are going to go into the training room and see you, Darvish, with a trainer, and they're going to be like, this guy's not even playing right now. Why does he have a trainer? I need to get a look right now.
I think what he was saying was 25 guys show up each day to win a ball game.
Yeah. Oh,
so he's saying that him being there takes a trainer away from other guys that are playing that day.
But newsflash, the Cubs built $1 billion clubhouse. And they have all the trainers that any team could want. So -1 for A-Rod. Plus, the Cubs already did that in 2016 with Kyle Schwarber, who rehabbed after tearing up his ACL and ankle. So he was with the team the entire year too. So -2 for A-Rod. The other thing was he brought up how the Cubs players were they had Tyler Chatwood's back more than Yu Darvish, because at least Tyler Chatwood was battling through, battling through 3 innings every start. I'm sure Cubs players really appreciate getting down like 5 runs every time that Tyler Chatwood was starting. So -4 for A-Rod. What was the other thing? Oh, so then like the next day, Yu Darvish agent like just ethers A-Rod. Like he made the call of like, Yu Darvish is with his team right now, supporting them, not like A-Rod when he was in Arizona with his suspension. I was talking about A-Rod's steroid suspension.
Oh yeah, when he cheated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big clubhouse guy there.
Intimidation.
Yeah. So everybody got him there. Obviously Joe Madden backed Yu Darvish. He also called out A-Rod, said he's gonna like fucking ruin his reputation if he keeps like just talking out of his ass. Albert Elmore Jr. and Anthony Rizzo backed up Yu Darvish, basically saying we have his back. Like he's a great teammate. No clue where these comments are coming from. Theo Epstein, he went on the radio a couple times too. He alluded to it. I think the recent thing was he went on the radio on Friday morning, and he basically texted A-Rod, sent him an angry text, like an ex-girlfriend texted him. Because remember, there was that one time when the Red Sox traded for A-Rod,
right?
And like that deal fell through or something.
That's right. That's right.
Like they have some sort of relationship, like where they're obviously somewhat close. He texted him. He's like,
a lot of angry emojis in that text.
Oh, like just that angry face, the red angry face emoji. Yes. Lots of those probably. He basically said your comments were like, "What the hell was that?" Like those were false. A-Rod, Theo said that A-Rod defend himself. So I mean, obviously that's not going to go anywhere. What I think would happen in like I think every Cubs fan agrees, like from like myself, from the managers or the manager, the coaches, the players, the front office, everyone is wondering like, when's Yu Darvish going to come back? You know, I guarantee you everyone's frustrated.
Right.
No one thought that the season was going to play out like this, where he hasn't pitched since May. But A-Rod was basically insinuating that Yu Darvish isn't doing enough to get back from his injury, basically saying he's milking it, which, I mean, that we already saw that take from the Sun-Times back in May when he was compared to Derrick Rose. That comparison isn't nothing new. But I mean, what I think would happen was A-Rod probably, like, I bet somebody would say, yeah, you know, the guys in here, we're wondering when Yu's going to come back. Which, I mean, I think that's a fair question. I don't think that's really a harsh thing on Yu Darvish, but that's just when's Yu coming back? The Cubs really need him in starting rotation with Chatwood now in the bullpen. You know, they got Cole Hamels. He had a good start, but, you know, it's been inconsistent. So you really want that boost for the last, you know, month of the year or whatever.
Well, you want the guy that you went out and spent all the money on.
Yeah. So, like, that's fair.
Yeah.
So that's fair. But I think A-Rod took that and was like, oh, Cubs clubhouse, it's bad. They hate Yu Darvish now, which is obviously, like, false. So, Nuke.
Like, how could he even know?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, how does he even know? And listen, I mean, like, he has a lot of experience in the major leagues. He's, you know, long career as a cheater. But, you know, so there are things that you can tell. Like me, I never played in the major leagues. I played enough baseball, been around enough clubhouses where, like, things aren't that different. There are certain things that I don't know, but I can take pretty well-educated guesses. I think that's what he was doing. What'd you say?
Said, you know, not to cheat.
Not to cheat.
Yeah.
Well, you know, like, to my own demise.
Right.
So anyway, he there's no way he knows that. He's not a national correspondent or anything. It's not like he's even in the dugouts talking to managers every day. He knows these guys, sure. But quite frankly, looking at A-Rod and listening to him talk, I follow him on social media. He is the biggest narcissist I have ever seen. He is so into himself. And he has this serious...
Time out. So you're telling me the guy that has a painting of himself as a centaur in his house...
Is that serious? Does he actually have that?
Yes, dude. They took photographs of it.
Or is that like the Jeter gift bags at the morning after? It's like that with non-disclosure.
He has a painting of himself as a centaur, half man, half horse,
and he has that picture of himself kissing himself.
Kissing himself, yes. So
right,
you're trying to tell me that guy is full of himself. I don't believe
But he has this serious inferiority complex where like all he wants is Theo Epstein's Ivy League degree. It's what he wants. He's like Mr. Big U, the University of Miami fan, but he's also like, Yale, Harvard, Princeton, all this stuff. He talks about hedge funds. He's on CNBC in the morning sometimes for the A-Rod Corp, whatever. Like that's really irrelevant. But I think I say all that because it speaks to why he said what he did. He has no idea. He doesn't know that. I mean, like, did he even play with anybody that was in the Cubs dugout? I don't think he did. He played against John Lester. And yeah, I'll be damned if John Lester is like feeding A-Rod, inside clubhouse, right. Stuff. Come on now. Maybe John Lackey. I don't know. Lackey's competitive enough where he'll be like, F everybody, I'll send stuff to anyone.
I don't think John Lackey has a phone. So
it probably doesn't.
I don't think John Lackey
like tucked in a secret pocket in a Stetson. Anyway, what he said was completely wrong. Completely wrong. Like, and you just don't say that kind of stuff. Like, you can allude to it. You can say minor things, like, I think, this is interesting that he's here. Maybe this could be a distraction, not, cast aspersions on the dugout and the whole clubhouse and say they don't like each other. And I guarantee they're like, all looking at him with this, like, side eye, like, screw you for being here. No, like, I have never felt that way in a dugout. If anybody has been injured, and like when I was with the White Sox and their minor league organization, guys did come all the way down, not many, but like came all the way down to where I was. And we were like, this is cool. This is fantastic. But, that it's just false. It's like false on its face in every way. If anything, me personally, and I'm the old guy that yells at clouds, I like that, like, you're still part of the team, be in the dugout. I don't like pitchers, getting pulled in the fifth and then going and taking a shower and leaving. I hate that. That drives me crazy. Like, stay in the dugout. You're with the team. You're one of the players, like, this is your game, and it just, he was so far off, and it just fits his personality of like, look at me. I don't know why Fox even lets him have a microphone.
Or now ESPN. Yeah, no. The biggest thing though was that, like, he took his personal opinion of whatever he thought when he was a player, and he projected it onto the Cubs.
Right.
That's exactly what it was. Because I mean, we're talking about a clubhouse. Tommy La Stella quit the Cubs back in 2016. Like, he got optioned down to AAA because the Cubs just had too many players, and he was the only one with options left. He literally didn't want to go to Iowa. He went back home, like, for like a month. The Cubs accepted him back. He was on the playoff roster all throughout the World Series run. So, like, you're telling me that clubhouse isn't going to accept a guy who's just trying to come back from an arm injury? Like, come on. A-Rod, wrong team to make up a story.
Right. And like, what basis does he have to make that besides what is he doing in the dugout? He should be in Arizona rehabbing. Right. And I understand that. I do understand that. Like, you should be doing every single thing possible to get back, but he doesn't know that. And pitchers are here's the other thing. He was a position player. We could hit, we could run, we could throw, we could do something every day, something different to progress and move along. Pitchers, you do one thing, you throw. And if your shoulder hurts, what can you do about it?
Yeah.
If you can't throw, you should be getting treatment. But you can't get 24 hours of treatment. You can only get so much treatment. A lot of their treatment is rest, is just kind of chilling. Ice and stim and all kinds of little machines and little things they got. But like, that's it. You can't say like, A-Rod, go throw, like go work on, go take some ground balls, go shag some fly balls. All right. Like, if it's your ankle, go take some swings off, some cuts off a tee or something. It just, he doesn't know. And was he there early enough to see if A-Rod was, or not A-Rod, if Darvish was long tossing earlier in the day? Like, has he been there for a week? Had he covered the team? Had he seen him throwing on the morning track? Had he seen him throwing 45s and throwing a bullpen?
That was just the most hilarious part of it, because I think so. Those comments were on Sunday night, and I think Darvish had just thrown a bullpen session on Friday night. and like that was a positive step.
Right.
So
right.
it's like I think the thing that pissed off like all the Cubs fans and like obviously the team was the whole like the insinuation that Darvish isn't like doing enough to come back sooner.
And he's a distraction.
Yeah. But like, I mean, the guy has an arm injury. Like that's not, it's first of all, it's year 1 of a 6-year deal. You don't want a guy coming back to rushing it and then like having that problem become a recurring thing like next year already.
I mean, the biggest thing for me at the end of it was Epstein today, what he said. He wouldn't even just say, you know what, he can't admit, you know what, maybe I kind of extended a little bit too much. Or just say, you know what, maybe it was unfair. All he had to say was like, maybe it was unfair, and let it process through Chicago, and then it's over. You know, that would be a resolution to me. Because obviously, you know, like Cubs fans and the Cubs clubhouse is probably rallied around it. And we're probably like, what the hell is he talking about? You know? So to me, it would have just been like, you know, let's, you know, churn the media cycle here and move along. Who knows? Maybe he owns like 27 blogs in Chicago, and he's like, I'm going to churn up some activity. We're going to stir it up here. Is he an investor in sports mockery?
Who, A-Rod?
Yeah. Maybe we should pitch him.
No, he is.
So what do you think about it?
I can't wait for a little jump man on the side of our SM gear.
No, I was letting you guys go. It was fine.
Your arms folded there for a minute. I was like, what is he's just sullen.
He's taking it in.
He's watching the White Sox game right now. That's the problem.
That's actually what's happening.
So give us a live update. What's going on in the White Sox game?
Still bad. No, it's just with the whole A-Rod shit, he's an asshole. There's no way around it. I've never been an A-Rod guy, never will be.
Me either.
He just, like you said, talks out of his ass. I feel like he runs out of things to say. And when
he just keeps talking.
When he hits that wall, he just kind of keeps going and doesn't always make sense. And we're fortunate enough to live in a market where, hate him or love him with Hawk, but both sides of town have pretty good radio and TV teams. So we don't have to deal with those national squads very often. And when we do, apparently they just royally pooch.
I don't know this. I don't know.
I'm the only one in Chicago. That's right. So both of you.
I still watch.
No, Yankees.
You're not watching Cubs games?
Yankee Sox on Monday is ESPN's game of the week, I think, or something like that. Whatever it is.
92% sure I will be in attendance for three reasons. One, it's Yankees. 2, it's Game of Thrones night. And 3, I need to 108. So it's all
108.
Shout out.
It's all happening. I
love the 108 guys, man.
I'm definitely going to at least one Yankees game with the White Sox, and I'm going to make my way out to that right field foul pole. So
that will be fun. That will be fun. Yankees and 108. I mean, that's a perfect pair. I don't know about Game of Thrones and all that.
Whoa! Let's slow down.
On Game of Thrones.
The brakes.
Do not like your tone of voice. Nerd shaming. Do not nerd shame me just because you had 5 stolen bases in 2006. I do not want to hear this shit.
Who doesn't love a little incest? You know.
Oh, by the way, for those of you just tuning in, well, not just tuning in because we weren't recording.
You skipped ahead.
Yes, I skipped ahead. I found all of Nuke's minor league stats, so I'm just.
You're just sprinkling them in.
Oh, great.
Yes, I thought about how I was going to present this, and I was going to hold it in until we started arguing about Madrigal, but I think instead I think I'm just going to sprinkle them in, just like the last comment. Like, settle down, guy that sold 5 bases in 2006. I don't want to hear it. So
Speedster.
Just keep in mind that
only caught once.
Yep, caught stealing. He was 5 for 6. It's probably because he drinks rosé instead of beer, so he was able to move off those bases. Real tough guy over here. But
Jesus, you went there?
And you're gonna nerd well, it's because you nerd shamed me for Game of Thrones.
Are you taking away the man card?
No, man card's intact. You can't take away a guy's man card that had 23 strikeouts in 2006. So
you didn't even say.
We gotta keep those.
All right, keep sprinkling it. Let's move on.
Oh,
Can,
yes.
can we talk about Moncada's strikeouts as they relate to
No,
Javi Baez
because
and
we
an
are going to
MVP?
stick to the plan, and we're going to talk about how we were right in May about Javi Baez being a damn
An MVP.
because he
Let's
is.
make this clear. I was right.
Fair enough. You brought us on board, but in the Matt and Matt defense, because now we're a law firm. Matt and Matt.
Matt. Ooh, the
Matt,
A
Matt,
in the
Matt,
middle,
and
the
Aldo.
and, the A,
Yes.
like the A is me.
It's the ampersand.
Yeah, there you go.
We didn't argue. We
That's right.
agreed.
Did not disagree on that.
We brought
no.
it to the table, and we accepted it.
Guys, he's going to have a 30-30 year.
Like that Macho
Incredible.
Man promo. You may not like it, but accept it.
Did you guys see the numbers? Did you guys see the numbers on Baez? He's on track for a 30-30 year,
I'm looking at him right now.
100 RBIs, 100 runs scored, I think.
Wow.
What else?
As we sit right now,
Slugging 575.
as we sit right now, he is at 23 home runs, 84 RBIs, 101 strikeouts to 17 walks. That is quite the fucking ratio. Sorry, that's an F-bomb. That's worthy of an F-bomb.
Yeah.
That is a
He
ratio
leads the league in RBIs.
That is a ratio and a half, though. 101 to 17.
I
19,
think half of those walks are intentional walks.
yes, 19 stolen bases with only 4 caught stealing. He's batting .299, and he's got a slash of .333, .580, .914.
Decent OPS.
His OPS is .914.
Guys, he's top 3 in he's top 10 in every single offensive category in the National League.
And I know right now one of the cool things to do is compare him and Yo-Yo because they had, their first 160 games in. But this may be the only time you ever hear me say this. So you guys might want to get ready for this. I agree with a comment. Someone commented the biggest difference to them was when Javi Baez was struggling early in his career at the plate, he was an above average fielder. When Yo-Yo is struggling at the plate, it's
not good.
It's not happening in the field yet. I still see a lot of potential in Yo-Yo, and those stats between their first 160 games or whatever are so skewed because Yo-Yo had like 150 more at bats than Javi Baez did. It's ridiculous that people just blindly throw things up now.
I mean, obviously, I don't watch as many White Sox games as you guys do, but I was going to ask that, because Baez has always had the glove, whatever.
Well, he was a glove first guy to begin with.
Yeah, he was literally raw power glove.
Right.
Yeah,
and
he was all glove. That's why you brought him up.
Yeah, and hopefully everything else works out. And so far, it has. I mean, he still strikes out, but I mean, his strikeout rate is getting back to like league average. So it's not like it's like bad anymore.
Right, but it took him 5 years to get to that. So that's one thing that I think we talk about, right? Is like,
that's the other thing with Machado.
And the first 162 games is a joke, by the way, because it's different. Moncada was traded. I don't think Javi was traded.
No.
Right? No, he wasn't traded. He came up as a September call-up with Boston and shit the bed. It was not good. So, I think I don't know. I don't have the stats in front of me, but it was nothing to write home about. It was just kind of get your feet wet. And then he came up mid-season last year. Okay. So just the trade in general is kind of a big deal, So, and like we said, Moncada was a bat first guy more than an infielder. We knew that like he may profile as a third baseman. He's not necessarily an infielder, but he's got some skills where he can do it. There were questions about his footwork around second base to be a second baseman. So it's a little bit, I agree with Zoe that it's a little bit unfair to really compare them the same way.
They're not the same player.
But it is interesting. But it is interesting to see where they both are. To be honest with you, Cubs fans will grab hold of that and be like, well, Moncada is probably a bust. But I look at it as like, wow, like with all the question marks that were around Moncada defensively, even knowing that there were some swing and miss, knowing that it took Javi 5 years to get it together at the plate. Moncada is better than that. like I kind of see this as like a little bit encouraging for Moncada. Oh no.
Yoan Moncada, RBI double, Sox lead 3-2 in the 10th.
Oh, didn't even say
There
it.
you go.
It's because you were talking all that shit.
His ears were burning.
To me, it's a lazy comparison. They play the same position, and that's pretty much where it ends.
No, but I think, okay, here's where I think that it's not so much the numbers. Ignore the numbers because I think Zoe said like Moncada has 100 more at bats or something.
Like 150 more. Yes.
Yeah. So like,
it's like 630 to like, yeah.
So I think the comparison that you say, it's not so much the head-to-head numbers, but everything, the power, the average, the strikeouts, whatever. I think it's more of young players struggle.
Right, exactly.
I think for me at least. I mean, I'm a Cubs fan. Like when I first saw it, I'm like, oh wow. I mean, yeah, I remember Baez sucking a lot. I didn't realize that Moncada was like has struck out that much at such a like early in his career. But what I took out of it was like, yeah, he's young. They have plenty of room to improve. And, obviously, are you going to expect Yoan Moncada to be an MVP candidate in 3 years? Like, probably not. But you also don't expect him to, like, be on pace to set an MLB strikeout record either. So, like, there's a lot of room to improve. He's young. It's literally his first full year in the league.
Right.
These guys are going to suck. But like, there's a difference between the guy sucks right now and the guy is going to suck forever.
Sucks in 10 years. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's where I want to see. I want to see Moncada at the end of this season. We know it's going to be bad, but we can look at those little cross sections or those little snippets where it was like 20 games here, 10 games there, 15 games here. And he's got to look at that and say, how do I connect those and make those a little bit better? But I want to see the end of this year.
Yeah, my biggest thing with Yo-Yo and actually White Sox manager actually addressed it in his postgame because, Nuke, I know you love postgame conferences. We get it. You like them.
Tweet about them all the time, morning after.
No, but it's actually
a Monday morning quarterback.
I know, but I actually read your tweets about them, and it's sweet because, one, I don't have to listen to them, and two, you do it nice and early in the morning, so I'm on the train, so it's great. But his biggest thing is one of the things when he first came up, people were like, oh, this kid's so patient. He's so patient. Well, now he's taking these borderline pitches, and they're getting called strike, and they're leading to increased strikeout numbers. So Renteria actually even said, he's like, bro, you got to be more aggressive. I need you swinging that bat. Like,
well, you got to battle.
Yeah,
it's too close to take. We say this all the time. I mean, like baseball players, it's too close to take. Got to battle.
Close to take. The season's in the toilet anyways. They should be swinging like Vlad Guerrero, and you guys knew I was getting that name in there somehow.
I almost forgot.
You should be swinging like Vlad Guerrero right now. You should be trying to make contact with everything and anything you possibly can. Season's done. It's over. Finito. So just put up numbers. Why not? Screw it. Maybe one of you guys will mess around and hit 3 home runs like Matanuco did in 2006. Who knows?
Not in one game.
Who knows? So that's why you got to just like what's his face from the Phillies used to say, swing hard in case you hit it. So I mean,
I say that. Who from the Phillies? Schmidt?
Like Schmidt?
Maybe.
Go nuts. Just swing the damn bat, kid. So let's keep the show moving.
Wait, hold on. The only thing I'll say about because I like Moncada's patience. Umpires suck. I think there's a stat that came out like a month ago that he's had the most like wronged third called strikes on him in the league or something.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you can't teach the eye. Like you either have it or you don't.
Well,
and that's one thing that I like about Moncada though. Like if you guys didn't like the Javi Baez comparison, get ready for this comparison. There's another guy who always gets grilled about not being aggressive enough and like taking too many close pitches.
Joey Votto.
Exactly. And I'm not saying that Yoan Moncada is going to turn into Joey Votto because Joey Votto's one of the best hitters in baseball.
I wish he would be that hilarious. Joey Votto is hilarious.
But Joey Votto, I think like in his first I think it's 612 at bats for Joey Votto, his first year and a half with the Reds. He had 64 walks. Yoan Moncada in 611 at bats before Friday's game, he has 76 walks.
Boom.
So I mean, If you can take your walk,
there you go. Right, exactly.
Because he's gonna. I mean, Machada's not. I mean, obviously he's not gonna strike out. I hope not. I hope that he's not gonna end up every year striking out 220 times a season. So you expect those numbers to come down, but if he still has that good eye, and if if he goes through the stretches where he's not hitting, but he's still taking his walks, you'll take that every time. And he's not always going to get screwed on those close calls. Right. But I mean, I view that as a positive.
Right.
So here's the thing: is you make a good point. His eye. So like when I was, I had never heard this before until I was drafted and was with the White Sox. There was this general
wait, was that philosophy. In 2006 when you had 18 RBIs?
Do you want to know the day I was cut to?
No.
Less than a year later.
Nope.
wait, no. How many walks did Nuke have?
How many walks did Nuke have?
Not too many. That league was awful.
Anyway, 185 at bats. Nuke had 15 walks.
Oh, okay.
So the eye. They say they actually put an age on it. Everybody says that power is the last tool to develop, right? They said that, and I found this astonishing, that your eye didn't reach its peak. Your strike zone awareness didn't reach its peak until like 28, 29.
Oh,
what?
So the first thing I heard that too.
Yeah. So, and I was like, really? But you do. Baseball is a game that you have to play to get better at it. You can work on skills and do all this, stuff in the periphery, but the thing that you do to get better at being a baseball player is play the game. And by that point, you've played. I mean, think about it. If you're Yo Moncada and you play your first 3, you're gonna 162 games times 6 years, 7 years. You've got a lot of games under your belt. You understand where the zone is. That's why these guys have such incredible eyes.
Is the rosé coming up?
Yeah, exactly. Getting some hiccups. No, but the problem is that he can't be stubborn about it. You gotta lift the bat off your shoulders and have a 2-strike approach. A lot of major league hitters do not have an approach at the plate. And I'm curious, like we talk about these analytics and these like nerd stats and stuff. And I mean that in a loving way, like in an admirable way that I don't understand all the time, is that, the strikeouts to home runs, right? Like it's like a slugfest. Like take your strikeouts, doesn't matter. Like the biggest thing with Ryan Howard, it drove me up a wall. It was like, he'll strike out 175 times, he'll bat 250, drive in 110 and hit 45 to 50 bombs. But it was boring to watch him play. It was boring to watch him strike out all the time in critical situations when pitchers figured out how to pitch to him and he hit into the shift and all that. Moncada and baseball players in general, and part of being a baseball player is having an approach at the plate, going up and saying, I'm going to look for a certain pitch early in the count. If I don't get it, I'm willing to go down in the count. And then once, as the pitches come, as the count evolves, you adjust your approach to it. But there's nothing different. There's nothing new about a 2-strike approach. When there's 2 strikes on you, you got to battle. You got to foul pitches off and look for a mistake. I mean, like how, century of baseball, they say you got to hit the mistake, right?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So it's like, these guys are dealing to you. They're like, it's diving, it's running, it's curving, it's dipping. You got to foul off marginal pitches. And if it's not a strike, that's fine, but you got to evolve or adjust to where the umpire is calling it. And that's what Renteria finally said publicly, was like, listen, you got to do something, You can't say, no, that's not a strike. Yes, it is. Like you're getting in this battle with the umpire. Take the umpire out of it. You always, as a player, try to take the umpire out of the game. Do not let him dictate your at-bat. It would drive you crazy if it did, but like, I'll be damned if I'm going to sit there 4 times, watch 4 strike threes in the same damn spot, and then just be okay with it. Now you got me going off. I'm yelling at clouds.
Yep. We're officially in cloud territory. So let's move.
Wait. One last thing.
You have one last thing.
No, it has to do with the cut. I don't know what our next thing is. I forgot. But if Yoan Moncada ever becomes Ian Happ, will you guys be happy?
No,
See, you're just a real dad.
young Moncada needs to be Mike Trout.
I mean, 8.5. Pretty good.
So,
He's
speaking
got
of
the
Mike
skills.
Trout,
Kind of looks like him.
apparently, according to Rick Hahn and another fantastic White Sox podcast out there, he has no limit. He has no limit when it comes to free agency.
See, we tied it all in.
And
It's a circle.
it's a circle. That
Triangle has a corner.
it's just
You guys have to be excited, right? Manny Machado to the south side.
it's Trout, Harper. Let's get him. Chris
Hahn
Sale's
has
coming
the
back.
blank
We're
check.
getting if he's got Daddy's credit card and we're ready to go. Let's make some deals here. I mean, for him to stay there on with Chuck Garfien, who he knows it's gonna get out to everybody. Like, I don't know if he was just trying to like fit in with the cool kids.
Wait, no, I think it was like at a bar, wasn't it? It was like a live show.
Yeah, it was a live podcast. They were on a stage in a bar in front of a live audience recording this podcast. And he said, there's no limit for our free agent spending in the upcoming season.
I think Nuke said it best. So, like, what else was he gonna say?
We're gonna make the moves that the other free agent bullshit. Just like we'll make the best moves that are out there at the time, or the best moves we deem fit for this ball club's progression.
I told Nuke with this comment now he opens himself up to criticism. If the White Sox don't get a top free agent, like, hey Rick, what were you doing? What happened to this unlimited budget?
What
That
happened?
would literally be nothing new.
What happened? What happened to?
They'd all blame Jerry.
Yes, that's my new thing. Every time they make a move now, I'm just going to tweet out because he's no limit soldier.
No. Rick Hahn has the best job in the world. If the White Sox don't do anything, he doesn't get the blame. It's either Kenny Williams or Jerry Reinsdorf. Rick Hahn is like bulletproof right now.
Yes.
Invincible.
Yes.
Rick Hahn has it made. Because
we all know Jerry doesn't like us. We all know Kenny just does whatever Kenny does, and Rick
is hits us because he loves us.
It's sad that's probably the most accurate depiction. All
right, guys, power rank your free agents. Who is coming to the south side?
Oh goodness!
Well, obviously, best friend of the show, Mike Trout, is number one.
Well, no. Let's do this offseason because that's still a couple years away.
Buy him now.
Well, you have to trade Eloy and Robert.
Oh goodness!
So.
I'm out.
Would you do it? Do it?
Eloy is
we already went through the possible packages that we would be okay with. Would you give up Eloy and Lewis? Would you do it?
Yeah.
Wow!
For 2 years of him.
For 79 wins, you do that.
Oh, if they got no limit,
you resign them. That's right. No limit.
Exactly.
Slide the check across the table and say, just put numbers in there.
So when you type in 2018 MLB free agents, the top 7 names that come up are Charlie Blackmon, Brad Brach, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, Clayton Kershaw, Josh Donaldson, and Dallas Keuchel.
Well, I think Charlie Blackmon got an extension, so he's off the list.
I just want his beard because that is
Donaldson sucks.
Donaldson got hurt this year, and he's like going to be 33 years old.
Trash.
So, if you're the White Sox, you're looking at, either Harper or Machado, right? You're not looking at pitching. I mean, which I don't think they can. I just don't see him coming to Chicago.
We have 72 pitchers in the minor leagues that can come up.
True, but not lefties. We did this past week with buying some serious high value or high ceiling lefties as
you guys
prospects.
don't want Dallas Keuchel?
I mean, I wouldn't be mad.
No, he's another righty though, right?
AJ Pollock is another name out there that
Pollock.
Sorry, God, there's so many Pollocks and Pollocks, and I'm a Pollock, and it's just there's all kinds of stuff.
You know who the White Sox are going to end up with? They're going to end up with 35-year-old Nick Markakis.
No, they're going to get Josh Donaldson. I'm dead serious.
Josh Donaldson?
I wouldn't.
Oof.
You know what? You're probably right.
That's going to be some bad money.
They're going to end up with
that
Josh
is bad
Donaldson.
money. I would take Markakis though, but I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think why. He's batting like 340. He's done
he's
it
gonna
for
be
the past like
old next year.
not a long-term deal. He's probably that. You know what? When I spoke to Chuck Garfine for the show,
I was about to
talked
ask.
about getting a veteran, right?
So would you rather have him or Adam Jones?
Adam Jones. Hey, give me
Absolutely.
Adam Jones. Give me Adam Jones.
What's in that cup?
I wish I knew.
For our listeners, Zoe is drinking out of a blue cup. Right?
And it's a mystery cup.
And for our listeners, he had a margarita before he got here.
And 6 beers. But we don't need to talk about that. We need to talk about Adam Jones over Nick Markakis.
I would 100% take Markakis over Jones.
Here's a starting pitcher that the White Sox should look at. A lefty, Nuke. You have this obsession over the White Sox and having lefties. This guy's a veteran, so he's probably going to want his last big deal. No, because he's re-signing with the Dodgers. No. Right. 33-year-old Gio Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Why not?
And it would be a homecoming for him. I remember I was in spring training with Gio Gonzalez.
He's been traded. Yeah, wasn't he traded two different times from the White Sox?
Yeah, twice. I think he was with the Marlins.
Gonzalez pretty good.
He is pretty good.
Oh, wait, guys. Sign. I just found it. I know who the White Sox are signing. They're not signing Adam Jones.
Josh Donaldson.
They're not signing Josh Donaldson. They're not signing Nick Markakis. Their big free agent signing is going to be Carlos Gonzalez.
Oh, God.
No, I wanted him 2 years ago. I'm done with
Exactly, Zoe. Because the White Sox always get guys after you want them.
Yes, they're going to get Josh Donaldson and Victor Martinez. I'm going to go.
In all seriousness, I don't think they go after pitching. I think if they can get the perfect deal with pitching, they go for it. And I think as far as Kershaw goes, is that a player opt-out or is it a true free agency?
He can opt out.
I don't see him going anywhere.
No.
He's staying in. If he's smart, he's staying in LA.
Ooh, how about this veteran guy? I think this is actually, I'm being completely serious right now. This is the most perfect fit. He doesn't have to start every day. He can just be a bench veteran guy. Curtis Granderson.
We got so many outfielders coming up.
No, but exactly. No, he could be like that veteran guy.
It would be.
I'd rather have Markakis.
Chicago does love Curtis Granderson.
He's like a UIC guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm a big Curtis Granderson fan.
And me too. He's a really good, a really good veteran. But I just don't.
Fan too. They're going crazy right now. Big fans of Curtis Granderson.
I just personally, if I'm the GM, I wouldn't pay Granderson what I would pay Markakis.
Oh, I mean, Rick Hahn has all the money. He doesn't have to worry about the money.
I think Granderson's like a 1 year, couple $1 million deal. He's like a Derek Holland type deal. And it would be a nice story. Gio Gonzalez, maybe. Yeah, but honestly, I think they go for. I think they're going to make a serious push for Machado. I don't think he signs with us. I just don't think he wants to.
Okay, so I've been asking you, randomly. So after these Rick Hahn comments, how do you feel about the chances of getting Manny Machado now? Because you were like at 50% back in April, and then it went back down to 20% after he got traded to the Dodgers.
Yes.
So what are you at now?
36%.
Oh, wow, it's still pretty low. Come on, Rick Hahn, unlimited budget.
Unlimited budget, but see, now he's in LA. He's got a taste. He's living that LA life, and
but he's like him and Nicky are tight. Nicky Delmonico.
Right, I get it. And
that's right. Team USA buds.
Him and Hahn wore the same sweater, according to the Photoshop picture in my.
That's right. The tiger, Gucci.
Gavinci.
I don't know.
I don't really know.
I think he stays out in LA. I just have a feeling.
He's not staying in LA because they have what's his name? Seager. They have Seager coming back.
Seager.
Oh, that's
true. And they also have Turner on a pretty. He just signed last year on a pretty decent deal. So I don't. Yeah, I don't see them.
Adam Jones is 33.
Yeah.
That's why nobody wanted to trade for him.
They're older. Yeah.
No, he tried.
I could see Machado going to. Well, first of all, the Yankees are going to throw obscene amounts of money at him. Even though they do have Miguel Andujar and they've got a serious Rule 5 problem. But I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Miami.
Manny Machado to
Long-term
Miami?
deal.
Why?
Yeah.
But
Why? He's from Miami. But why? Yeah, Ryan Reynolds here. You kind of look like him.
But why?
That's the best compliment I'll
I was
ever
going
give
to say,
you.
although please tell me we recorded that.
What?
Please tell me. Nuke just said I look like Ryan Reynolds. And I'm done. That's our show for this week, everybody.
Go out on top. Go out on
Play off the
top.
music right here.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, here the only reason
I'll say this: I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it's likely, but I wouldn't be surprised.
The only reason I don't think it's going to happen is because I think they're really committed to that rebuild, and throwing Machado like $300 million doesn't really fit that plan.
But it would be 300 long term.
Yes.
Like what? Like 10 years?
10 years.
Forever.
What is he? 25?
Yeah. I mean, but still, that's still $30 million a year that you're just draining to a guy that, like, what's he going to give you? Like 10,000 extra fans per game? Maybe?
Yeah,
Don't
but we all know they don't.
White Sox haven't worried about the fan shit in 10 years. So why are you worrying about it now?
Okay.
Don't worry about that shit.
The only thing I'll say is, like, if Manny Machado signs with the Marlins, it's because the Marlins give him the most money. Like, it's like the A-Rod signing with the Texas Rangers thing.
You would actually become co-owner with
Absolutely.
Denver, and they would rename Gators Machados because that's how much they would have to do to get him to go down there.
Have you guys seen Machado's haircut? I'm not really.
No, not a fan. Not a fan.
Someone put up a meme on Cubs Twitter. It was like some Pikachu character. It's like Pidgeotto or something.
Yeah. But see,
I don't even know what Pokemon.
But see, that's what I'm talking about getting the taste of the LA lifestyle.
He already had that ugly ass haircut before.
I'm looking it up now.
I'm trying to think of other teams.
Boston? You can never count out Boston.
No, they have Rafael Devers, and Devers.
He's been bad though, hasn't he?
He's been hurt, but I think he just came back. Washington,
if they lose, well, they have Trey Turner.
Is he playing? He's playing short. I think he was playing center.
That's the other thing. Like
they have Jose Rendon or somebody Rendon.
Yeah, they have Rendon at third. Machado has to realize that, like, he's not a good short.
No, he's a shitty shortstop.
He's a third baseman.
I'm saying that now.
He's an incredible third baseman.
I'm saying that now, Manny, out of love.
Yep.
If you don't come to the White Sox next year, we're gonna take a deeper dive on the show on how shitty you are at shortstop.
I mean, do the Mets? Does he want to go to New York? I could see.
I hope he doesn't go. No one deserves to play for the Mets. Somehow, everyone needs to stay away from the Mets.
Yankees are about to miss the playoffs, so.
And that's the wild freaking part about it.
It's all wild.
And Seattle. I think Seattle.
Teams.
Seattle's friends. Yeah, Seattle could be a sleeper in this.
Also, the Cubs. So, just throwing that out there.
But where's he going to play? You going to put him in short?
The Cubs are going to trade someone. They have too many good position players. They're going to trade someone for like another starting pitcher or something. That's the great thing about being Cubs fan. They just have so many guys.
Cubs go all in, get a discount on Harper. I think it could happen. He's not very good this year as far as his average and his stats and things. He's going to get paid off his body of work, of course.
Right.
But there might be small fraction discount.
Like he'll get like $275 million instead of $300.
So let's talk about the future a little bit.
Ooh, okay.
We're coming up to the hour mark here.
That's fine. We'll go 2 hours. I'll edit it down to an hour and a half.
It'll just be Eloy Moncada, Eloy Kopech, Eloy Madrigal. That's all we're going to talk about.
So said Mike Trout. Yes. And
thanks for viewing the show.
Yeah. So Eloy.
Not coming up.
Player of the, what was he, week or month? Or he's
player of the month. Minor league, White Sox minor league player of the month.
He's the White Sox player of the year.
Yes, he really is.
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
So he's killing it. And I loved Kopech's quote when they asked him, like, how do you feel getting into the late innings? He's like, well, when you got Babe Ruth on your team, you're never out of a game.
Was it him or was it the catcher that got called up?
Dustin Garneau got called up today, and he gave some good quotes about Kopech and Eloy making hard contact, but Kopech was the one that tweeted out Eloy.
Yes.
Okay,
Babe
so
Ruth.
I need you guys to make fun of that Babe Ruth comparison,
Fair comparison.
just like you guys did with Kyle Schwarber and Babe Ruth. So go ahead, make fun of it. Go on, go.
He's
Make
not
fun of it.
fat.
He's not fat.
He's not. No, he has like baby fat. He's like 21 years old.
Yeah,
He
does have baby
He
fat.
has like baby fat. But
I
he's not,
think
like,
he
fat.
just turned 21 too.
He's a tank.
Luke, were you
he's
able to read
big.
that the scouting thing that I sent earlier today?
Oh, the other, yeah, a little bit.
I thought that was
Yeah, I was
interesting.
actually going to write up an article about it, and I'm going to hopefully it'll be ready tomorrow morning when this goes live. But you want to give an idea?
Quick summary about it. Eloy has tough time with soft fastballs up and out. Basically, they said you can't put anything in the zone because he has such a controlled swing and such a powerful just burst that he's going to take any ball you put in the zone to any field. And he's a dog shit or below average outfielder.
Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, pretty much in a nutshell.
Right.
A little bit better of a contact hitter.
Yeah, no, I mean he'll hit for more average, but so like if he everyone always wants to make fun of the Cubs for trading Eloy for Quintana, but if Eloy ends up, because Eloy has to hit, he has to be like Mike Trout basically on offense to live up to like the how much value he brings to a team, because he just like he's not fast, he's not a good outfielder, so he has to hit to be valuable.
Right.
So like if he ends up being a
He's
guy
pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah, like he's your power hitter, like that's your like number 4 hitter. You hope he hits like 35 to 40 home runs, drives in 100, slugs
every
like,
year.
Yep.
Yeah, like he has to be that because he can't really do anything else. So like, but if he ends up like putting up like Kyle Schwarber numbers, and I know White Sox fans are gonna get mad because they fucking hate Kyle Schwarber, even though he's
I like Kyle Schwarber.
above average.
I don't mind him. Best left fielder in the game.
I like Kyle Schwarber.
He's the best outfielder in the game. But like if Eloy ends up being like averaging out, I think he'll hit for a higher average. He's not going to hit like what's he hitting at AAA, like 400?
Oh my god, he's almost 400. He was at 380 today. He went 3 for 4.
Oh my god! I mean, Eloy's. I said it since the trade. I said it before the trade. I said it since the trade. After the trade, I love Eloy. Eloy's going to be a beast.
He
has to hit that. He has
in
to
that article. Well, that's all he can do. Yeah, right. I mean, he's not going to kill you in the outfield. He's not awful. He'll figure it out. It's developing, I think, is one of the reports that
and he's 21 again. He's 21.
He's 21. But they made a really interesting comparison. You were talking about like the lack of variety in his game. Like he can't run. He can't. He's okay. He's like below average in everything else except hitting. He's just like off the charts. Miguel Cabrera.
Oh my goodness.
Yep,
that's what they said.
That's perfect.
That was the comp.
That was the comp.
And Miguel Cabrera is him and Mike Trout. And I've watched Miguel Cabrera he's played for almost 20 years now, right?
Yep.
He is, the way he gets the bat to the ball is incredible. It's sharp, it's short. He can hit any pitch in any location of the strike zone, and he can hit it where it's supposed to be hit, like up and away. He'll drive it to right field, and he'll poke it down the line. He can't run. He's a first baseman. But for his entire career, he's just been hits. Just hits.
I just had flashbacks to when Cabrera was 20 years old against the Cubs in 2003 during the NLCS and the World Series. Yeah. That guy just
and
hits.
100 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
He won World Series with the.
Whoever made that comp that's
it. But he said it, and I think it was the first one actually, and he was like, "It's a quiet front side," and so from a hitting mechanics standpoint, it's a foot down early contact approach with hands back, power loaded, still in that swing. It's the kind of stuff you can't teach. Like Nick Madrigal is the complete opposite. He is big, loud front side transition. Loud front side, big, got to load up and go, and he's got to get. It's like there's a lot of moving parts to it. Eloy seems to be that guy. Where it's like,
do you guys want to get into
contact? Yeah, Eloy's the guy that like apparently like opposing managers say, all right, he looks like he's hitting for contact, and then he just kind of like flicks his wrists and drives at 400 feet. So
flicking the wrist.
So what about Nick Madrigal?
Let's talk about how many strikeouts he has. Let's count them up. Ready? And we're done because it's 0, jerk.
You jerk.
He's had no strikeouts and 57 at-bats. He's batting 298. Then you got a 348, 351, 699 /9, 2 stolen bases.
Wait. His OPS is 699?
Yes.
Ugh.
It's not that good.
Was that Adam Engel? Who are you talking about?
He's only walked twice. He's got 7 RBIs, no home runs.
So he's going to allow a non-power hitting.
Swing the bat.
Yep. 3 doubles. Just laser show.
What is he?
Laser show.
All right, so he's batting. Has he played for Winston-Salem yet?
Yeah, he's played one game. I have him right here. He's played one game, 1 for 5. It's a single.
Didn't strike out.
He didn't strike out.
Laser show.
And that was it. 1 for 5. He's played one game. He played at Kannapolis. Played 12 games there.
Yep.
He hit 341, 347 on base. Obviously, he only walked 1 time. No strikeouts. Obviously.
He has not struck out as a professional yet.
Nope.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
That is definitely impressive.
62 at
bats. But he was known as that contact guy. Yeah, very, very good. I haven't, like you got to watch him. You got to watch those games to really see, like, is he just, are his outs kind of like without an approach? Like, is he swinging at 0-1 curveballs that he really shouldn't be, and he's just putting the bat and he's just got that great, or is he like fighting out at bats and putting hard contact on it, and still not striking out? That would be a completely different thing. That's what like they're talking a lot about with like Eloy and other players in advancing is, controlling the strike zone, making hard contact, having a full-on approach and adjusting from at bat to at bat. I think Madrigal's got a lot of that. It doesn't seem like anything of that baseball playing, skills and just approach to the game was a problem with him. That it seemed like that all of that was off the charts. It's just that he's small.
He's a 4-year college guy.
He's got a small strike zone.
That's right.
Fine.
So, like, what do you guys think
and no power?
What do you guys think his path is to the White Sox?
He'll finish this year in Winston-Salem. Probably start next year in
Winston-Salem,
Birmingham.
You heard it here first. He's going to be in Winston-Salem. I doubt he's in AA.
Oh, super fun fact of the show.
Matt tells people to get off his lawn all the time.
Super fun fact of the show. Me and Nick, we got the same birthday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there we go.
Well, okay. Well, Zoe, you can't ever jump off the Nick Madrigal hype train.
Nope, that's my guy now, forever. March 5th.
Wait, is he the new GOAT now? Are you replacing Matt Davidson?
He's Winston-Salem GOAT, not Chicago GOAT.
Here's a promise. Here's a promise. We will get him on the show before the end of the season.
Oh, nice.
Don't you dare write checks with your mouth that your butt can't cash. Oh, buddy.
We're going to have him on the show. 5 months until the end of the year.
Okay.
No. They end a little early. I don't know how far into September. Well, they have the playoffs.
I'm giving you extra time, Nuke. I'm giving you until the end of the year.
That's true.
All right.
All right. Nick Madrigal. Pinwheels and Ivy, guaranteed.
So
we are going to get him on the show.
That's
and that's a perfect opportunity to tell you who's going to be on the show.
Why are you stealing my segues, dude? So
because you weren't picking up on signals.
I was. You just talk a damn lot. We have a great lineup of guests coming up in the next week or so, 2 weeks probably span. We're going to space them out a little bit. But Nuke, why don't you go ahead and break down who we got coming up?
Well, this episode is going to be released on Saturday morning, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Mere hours after that, I will be on the phone with Zach Collins from AA. And we might release that as a special segment on Monday,
Ooh.
depending on what we do. It might be a full show. It might be just his interview. But that will be out this week. On Wednesday, or no, on the following week or next week's show, the one that should be out on Friday, we're going to have Jason Benetti, which was going to be great. After Chuck Garfien accused him of eating so fast.
Gonna get to the bottom of that. Yeah, we're gonna get to the bottom of that.
And then the week of August 20th, we should have Blake Rutherford on.
Nice.
That's not confirmed yet, but we don't usually do this, but we're going to plug it.
Yes, those are some fantastic names. And now that I know we're getting my birthday brother before the end of the season, it's even better. So, no, we're really excited. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. Thank you for sticking with us through our weekend shenanigans here. Hopefully we got you through your lawn cutting or whatever you're doing, listening to an hour podcast on a weekend.
Wade Davis just blew a save against the Brewers.
Oh. I was just going to make a joke about pruning hydrangeas.
Joe Madden broke Wade Davis, my column.
Yep.
Wade Davis sucks this year.
Oh, I like it.
Yo-Yo. I'm 300 words into Yo-Yo has the clutch gene. White Sox won by
they did win 3-2.
No.
Win streak.
So, as we get into these dog days here, feel free to DM us at Pinwheel Ivy Pod. If you got suggestions, if there's something you want us to talk about more, otherwise me and Nuke are just going to yell at each other more about Nick Madrigal. Or if you want, this is good. Tweet us, DM us, email us, send it via carrier pigeon, whatever you got to do. Get them to me, topics you want in Pinwheels and Ivy Court. Because that is coming back on Thursday night where Aldo versus Nuke, and I am the judge in P&I Court.
That never happens.
No. You want to talk about DHs? But let's talk about a bunch of other things. Anything that you want to hear these two go at each other about. DM
bat flips from Mike Alfranco.
Get it all in. Get it all in. So
everyone was like hyping that up. That was a weak bat flip. He almost hit his face.
He almost screwed it up.
Yeah, that was a terrible bat flip.
Not a good bat flip.
I'm a bat flip guy. That was like a 2.7 out of 10. Bad.
Nope. Thumbs down. That was bad.
Should we just break bat flips every week? We'll do that.
Oh, I like that. That's a new segment. The Bat Flip Council gives that one a thumbs down.
I give that bat flip 2 thumbs down.
I wish I had 4 hands so I can give it 4 thumbs down. Yeah. So, do you guys got anything else before we wrap it up? Okay.
Nope. No,
awesome. So,
I think we've seen a piece.
Yes, stick with us. We got great guests coming up. If you made it this far into the show, you are definitely a warrior. And so that's Matt Anuko and Aldo Soto. I'm Matt Swaski, and we will talk to you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
Go do it. I did it.
I said to the White Sox this time.
Ooh.
That changes it up. Rick Hahn has the money.
Curveball.
Curveball. God damn it. When that happens, I'm going to be so mad that I said it. Just going to bring it back.
He's got no limit, dude. He's got money.
That's the thing, though.
Take us off live. Take us off live.
Oh, he has the most perfect job.
He really does. You're right. That's something that I think skipped past all of us. You're right. He will never get blamed for anything except for this one person on Twitter. We'll always blame him for everything.